I'd like to hand it over to our contest chair now for our next contest, which is the evaluation contest. Welcome to the floor. The lectern is yours, Carl Hughes. How are we doing, folks? Good?
Yep.
We are District 73. We don't say we're good that way. We're a lot louder. How good are we? Excellent. Now I believe you. Welcome, everyone, to the 2023 District 73 Evaluation Finals Contest. This is it, folks. These contestants have gone from club to area to division to here today. They are going to battle it out. And we're going to find out who is going to be the 2023 District Evaluation Champion. Is that exciting?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to check, can everybody hear me online? Can you check for me? Because we've got some technical logistics thing to organize here. I just want to make sure everybody is hearing me. I'll keep going, and if there's any problems, please let me know. Now, we are hearing everybody. Great. Now, we're not here just for trophies, although it's really nice if you pick up one or two. We're not here just for the entertainment, although it's great to see fabulous speakers. We are here because this provides the opportunity for participants to improve their evaluation and speaking skills, particularly under pressure here. And it's also for us to recognize the best this year, so we can all strive to be as good as these people. It also provides the opportunity for everyone here to learn, because in Toastmasters, we know every single opportunity is a learning opportunity. So please, particularly the newer people to Toastmasters, look at our secret test speaker today and evaluate them in your head. And when the evaluators get up here, listen to them. Have they picked some things that you didn't pick? Something unusual? Or have they picked the same things? Because if you did, maybe next year or in a few years' time, you could be up here yourself in a district final. Now, our chief judge today is the fabulous Kevin Broughton. Kevin, please stand up. Thank you, Kevin. The big thanks for being our chief judge for these contests. And Sue Pederick, where is Sue? Is Sue in the room? She's slaving away. That's how dedicated she is. Now, Sue Pederick is the contest coordinator. And if anybody has organized a contest, you know how hard it is. She's been up all night. I've been talking to her in the middle of the hours, sorting things out. So please, loud enough to hear in the back room, let's thank Sue. Today we have a 5 to 7 minute speech delivered by a secret test speaker. On completion of this speech, the contestants will leave the room for 5 minutes to write up their evaluation, and then they'll come back one at a time to deliver that evaluation. Now we have 7 contestants today, and I'm going to read out the order now, particularly for the judges. We have at speaker number 1, Marlene Sinclair. Speaker number 1, Marlene Sinclair. Speaker number 2, who will be online, is Joe Evans. Speaker number 2, Joe Evans. Speaker number 3, who will also be online, is Harshitha Rajashikara. Harshitha Rajashikara. And speaker number 4 is Shan Wiracone. Shan Wiracone. Speaker number 5 is Jody Donche. Jody Donche, number 5. Number 6 is Tracy Green. Tracy Green is number 6. And number 7, who is the final contestant out of everybody, is Gregory Boland. Gregory Boland. Now, I've confirmed that all the contestants are eligible to compete and they've signed all their certificates. They've been briefed on the contestant protocols, so that's all done. Remember, they have to speak for at least 1 minute, 30 seconds, and they can't go over 3 minutes, 30 seconds, or they will be disqualified for either. Now, please remember, who's got phones here? You've all got phones? Not for the next hour, you don't. Okay? I have strategically placed SWAT members throughout this room. They will be watching you. So please do not use your phone. Do not take any pictures unless it's been authorized by myself. We only have one authorized photographer today. It is our district director currently. Narita, please stand up. Share those. We can see her taking photographs. It's okay. Now, our chief judge. Are we ready to proceed?
Absolutely.
Fabulous. Here we go, audience. This is your turn. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Now, the contestants don't believe you. Are you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
They felt that one. Now, let the 2023 District 73 Evaluation Finals Contest begin, and good luck to all our contestants. Now, do we have our test speaker online? We have an online test speaker. We hope we have an online test speaker.
Yeah.
Awesome. There we go. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Hello, how you doing?
We just need to get some audio from you. We can't hear you at the moment. I think that means hold on a sec.
You can obviously hear us.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Is that
No,
good?
we still can't hear you yet.
Still can't hear me. You're kidding.
We want to make it difficult for our contestants, but not that hard.
How about now?
The miming comes into effect.
Yes. Here's a new program for Toastmasters.
The mime.
How
about now?
I can hear her here. I
Now?
can hear him here, but not there. It's not coming out in our speaker.
Right.
But we can hear him.
Oh, check with Graham.
So Graham, is
It's
it?
not coming out in our speaker.
Graham? We're not hearing any sound coming through the auditorium.
And the people online need.
Yeah, we can hear online.
Everybody can hear online.
We can hear online, but not.
Okay, so it's not me then.
So how have you been enjoying the conference so far? This is called filling in time. Were the contests good?
Yeah.
Yep. Excellent.
The dinner last night.
Good. Dinner was good last night? Who went to the dinner? Oh, a few of you went. Who didn't sleep last night? Oh, the usual people. Okay.
I can hear him online, but it's not coming out.
I'm here.
Yeah. We can hear you.
These are the joys of hybrid meetings. Things don't always go the way they should.
The speaker, can you please?
I'm
work
here.
this mic?
Hello.
One more, please.
Hello. Can you hear me?
It's still not coming out.
Can you hear me?
Hey Carl, have you ever considered hosting a game show?
No.
I think you could definitely put on a game show host persona very well.
Do I?
Yeah.
Do they get paid well?
Oh, you betcha.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm in there.
I'm just giving out prizes now.
Was it, come on down, Greg.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hello, hello.
I reckon who wants to be a millionaire, that'd be right up your alley.
Yeah, I like that. Puts pressure on people.
That's all right. Carl, you got Eddie sorted. Well,
Yeah, hi guest, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Can I get you to disconnect and reconnect, please? Because I'm not sure what the problem is. There's nothing I can do from this end.
Do you mean leave the meeting and join the meeting again?
I
All
can't
right.
hear you.
They're still fixing it, Carl.
You-
We're
There we
going.
go.
They're still fixing
Okay,
it.
so disconnect. and
If I could
reconnect,
dance, I would.
please. Just let Carl know, please.
That coming out on the screen.
Hello.
I believe we are about to get highly technical. We are going to disconnect and then reconnect.
Hmm? What'd you say?
Is you already reconnected?
Yes,
Hello. Hello.
yes.
See that little symbol's not there.
Mine as well.
Yes,
Just little where the, you know, the mute sort of thing is. Yeah.
Carl,
Hello.
is Josie
So I thought that
online
was gone.
as well?
No,
Oh, she's here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
no,
She was online yesterday, that's why I thought,
Oh, was you?
yeah, that's why I thought,
no, can't hear you, I'm afraid.
oh yeah, I see that.
Let me.
Can you hear me now?
She didn't have that on yesterday.
No, what it is.
Did she win yesterday?
No.
She didn't win.
Sorry,
I'm wondering,
Matt,
they're
can
not
you say
doing it.
something again?
Oh, how can I not?
Can you hear me now?
I don't know his name, but it was a
I can hear you.
gentleman. Okay.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Marlene came second.
Hello?
and Victor Chan came third, but I can't think of the guy's name.
You can. Just on the screen.
Can you hear me? No, can you hear me? Hello. I can see my audio going. It's working.
It's coming out there.
Yeah, it's
It's
coming up.
working.
It's not loud.
It's working in Zoom. It's just
They just need to disconnect her. They've got stuck. Oh, no, it's video.
Well,
Of course it is.
it's not that obvious, but some.
you.
Can you hear me now? Hello. Hello.
It was coming out here, but now it's not. It was, but not then.
Need to find connection. It was coming here.
Yeah, but when you start.
Yes, this is. Perhaps a bit more.
Yeah, that's the way it's meant to be. I think it should
So
be.
we can hear now, but not connected.
These things happen.
Yeah, maybe. Get it to speak again. Yeah, we probably need to.
Zoom.
That's it.
Did it come out?
Who was that?
Someone talking.
Who was that?
My face.
Matthew?
Oh, it works. Mark, can you test?
Matt, can you please speak again?
Can you hear me, Matthew?
I can hear you. Yes. Hello.
Oh, yes.
Great,
Hello.
very good. My apologies for that.
Okay, everybody, we'll plug back in. If we can just have quiet for a moment while we test the audio.
I'm here. Hello. 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 Yes. No. Can you hear me? Hello.
Here.
I can hear. I can hear. Hello.
Can the people online hear him? Joe?
Hello. Hello.
Joe and Harshitha. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, at least the judges can hear me. That's the main thing.
Joe just said she can hear.
We can hear you out there now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. The problem is not Zoom, it's the stage.
All right, Joe and Harshitha can hear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear the main stage now, so I'll not get the introduction.
Oh no.
I cannot hear the main stage. I'm not sure, the other contestant online, Joe, can you hear the main stage?
I can't hear the main stage is muted. They've
Oh.
muted themselves.
Sorting things out, okay? So that's probably why they've muted themselves. So just wait. They know that they've got to sort out the sound. They're trying to fix the audio so it comes out.
Okay, yes.
Done now. Done now.
Okay, latest news. Unfortunately, the people on screen can't hear me and the speaker at the same time. It has to be one or the other. So I'm going to do the introduction, and then someone's going to flick a switch to cut me off and go somewhere else. Okay, so it's highly technical, but we will now begin contest, I believe. Here we go. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker, Matthew Mazzoni, with his speech, My Journey. My Journey, Matthew Mazzoni.
Well, thank you for those who can actually hear me. So hopefully that's everybody. I was 5 years old, a little boy at school, and we had a Christmas play. And everybody was getting ready for the play. We were all doing our auditions and all the different parts. We had people playing Joseph and Mary, all the typical people, the three wise men. And there was one part that had to find someone, and there was an audition. And it was for the drummer boy. So they would play the music, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, dun, 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 pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. And everyone auditioned, and they all stunk. No one could play in time. They were all playing, all the beats were going everywhere. And then there was me, someone who had never touched a musical instrument in my life. And I was given this little drum with some sticks, and I was playing. And without realizing it, I was actually playing pretty good, and everyone was surprised. So here I was, walking on stage, playing the drums. And that's when I realized, well, actually, it wasn't me at that point. It was my parents. Realized, well, maybe he has a bit of talent. And so that started my journey When I was 6, I started taking lessons in an instrument called the electone. Now, I don't know if you know this instrument, it's not very common. Just imagine 2 keyboards like this, and underneath some foot pedals for bass, and then your other foot controlling the volume. So basically, you're doing everything with all your hands or your feet. And I did this for a little while, took some lessons, and ended up going into a competition when I was 10. I didn't win, but still, it was an achievement. Also, I started taking piano lessons. This was when I was about 6 as well. And I did that for a little while. But you know what? When I got older, I thought, I want more. There was an acoustic guitar that was sitting in my parents' house that didn't really, it was just collecting dust. So I'd pick it up and start playing around with it. To my favorite band back then and still now, the Beatles. So I'd be playing all these songs. And then eventually, when I got to about 15, I was playing guitar for the school orchestra and drums as well, mind you. So I was taking on quite a bit. Now let's move forward a bit. I was about 18 and I thought, you know what? I like this. I want to keep going. So I thought, okay, what can I do? Well, I went record shopping with one of my friends and I thought, well, I quite like music and I like technology. So I bought some turntables and some records and started playing around with some DJing, which was a lot of fun. And then after that, I thought, well, you know what? Let's take this even further. And I started applying for university. Now, me being the typical musician, of course, I started doing something else and dropped out, doing something else and dropped out. Then I did music and I actually passed amazingly. So I went on to my music technology degree at university. Now, by this point, I thought, okay, well, I've been doing this for a little while. What's next? Well, I thought, okay, well, I want this to be my career. And so I started working in radio and started doing some music, my own music production and my own DJing. And after this, I thought, well, this is all fun, but I thought, well, you know what? It's time to sort of go a little further, expand my journey. So I started applying for programs to study abroad. Now, this is when I actually took an actual journey and went flying to the other side of the world, where I studied my master's in music technology. This was in Spain, where I studied at Berklee College of Music. Now, this was a life-changing experience, of course, because I'm studying something I love. I'm in a country that's pretty cool. And I get to do what I want to do. So I studied music technology. I learned a lot. And one of our assignments was to think of a project that we can present. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back to my roots. And I decided to put a collection of works together. And what was the title? Drummer Boy. And on the assignment, I had a photo of me as a 5-year-old playing the drums. And that was quite, for me, one of my greatest achievements. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Matt. Please stick around. Don't
Sure.
go anywhere. Now, the contestants, we need you to be leaving the room. So our usher is Amit. He will now be taking you out of the room to a secret hideaway to finish your evaluation. Give me some encouragement. The online people will be taken to a breakout room. Just let everybody leave. Let me confirm about the online people. Have they been isolated? Okay, we're just waiting them to be taken into an online breakout room.
Online people is gone.
Okay, everybody's isolated. Round of applause. We now have some questions to interview our speaker. Let's find out a little bit more about Matthew. He's gone through a bit of trial and tribulation this morning to get things sorted out. So let's ask him some questions. Now, it's a bit weird here, Matthew, because I'm looking at you and then you see the back of my head. And when I look here, I'm not seeing you. So bear with me while I rotate back and forth. Now, first off, let's thank you, Matt. Thank you for persevering with us in that way. Now, first off, let's get the shout outs out of the way. Matt, who is your club?
My club? Oh, North Adelaide.
North Adelaide. Whoa. Thanks up the Adelaide people. 2, 3, 4. We have 4. Let's welcome them to Victoria. Come on, coming down. Excellent stuff. Now, Matt, how long have you been in Toastmasters?
About a bit over a year, maybe a year and 3 months, something like that. Yeah. So.
Okay, so you're still fairly new.
Yeah, quite new. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel doing your first test speech?
I had no idea I'd be streaming live on YouTube, so that's. But yeah, no, it feels good. So yeah, no, awesome.
Yeah. We don't have a good meeting unless we have tech problems these days. Now we have tech problems to have a good meeting. So thank you for pursuing it and keeping there and keeping the presence of mind to do this. Now tell us about your club. Is it a good club?
Yeah, it's pretty good. We have some awesome, well, everyone in the club is so helpful, so friendly, so nice. They've really helped me grow as a speaker and given me very useful feedback. And yeah, when I was looking at clubs in Adelaide, I looked at a couple, but I'm glad I joined North Adelaide. So yeah, it's really good.
And how many members do you have?
I mean, I guess if I was in total, maybe like 20. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, because we have like every week, there's sort of people come and go. So, but it's yeah. So I would say, yeah, maybe 20 to 30. I would say. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a pretty good size. That's a good club.
Yeah.
Well done on that. That's good because its membership is a bit hard these days coming out of the pandemic. So that's very good. Now, what made you join Toastmasters?
I joined because I've always been somewhat of an introvert and I'm sort of trying to improve on my own sort of communication and speaking. And it was just a sort of part of my way of trying to develop myself and self-improvement to be able to speak well or better. So it's all about basically self-improvement, really.
Yeah, great. And it's good that you've been a test speaker for such a large audience. Did you jump at this or were you blackmailed?
I mean, I was asked and I said yes. So.
Oh, okay. You were asked. Just confirming with Sue at the back. Was he asked or was he blackmailed? Oh, it was asked nicely. The way Sue does it, you can't say no. Excellent. Well, thank you for doing that, Matt.
No, thank you.
What do you like about Toastmasters?
I like that there's a focus on sort of, I mean, I guess the two things like basically speaking and confidence. I think these are attributes that are really important just in everyday life, just not, for many different things. So I think that I like that Toastmasters is the kind of environment where you can sort of build on skills that are going to help you in your life. And I like the idea of trying to self-development. So that's what I like about it.
Excellent. And I've got another question for you, and you might want to think before you answer this one.
Yeah.
Are you currently working through Pathways?
Yes, I'm in a pathway. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, round of applause for that. Well done.
Yeah.
Which path are you on?
The presentation mastery. So.
Okay, do you recommend that?
Well, it's hard for me to make a recommendation because I'm so new and I don't really know a lot about all the other pathways, but I would recommend that if someone was going to do a pathway, that whichever one that they do is going to benefit them, because whichever one you choose, they're all going to develop you in the skills of speaking and confidence. So I don't have a specific pathway I can recommend because haven't been a member long enough, but I would recommend doing a pathway. So yeah.
Oh, wise words. Well done. Who here is doing presentation mastery as a path? Finish, right? So we've got some finished people here and ones that are going through at the moment. That's fabulous. Put your hand up if you are on Pathways. Okay, Namrita, get that photograph taken. Only kidding, we're not taking new photographs of that. Well, that's fabulous. Now let's get on to your speech. Why did you select this speech to do, Matt?
I guess because it's a story of my life that I thought that would be, I mean, I was just thinking like something that I can use from like sort of starting when I was a child to now, and sort of something that I can build upon and sort of make it interesting, which that was my idea behind it. Just sort of, I like telling stories, and I've done that in some of my speeches. I find that, you know, it's something that people tend to like things that are true. I find like real life situations, and I think that, I mean, I've told other stories, and this was one I wanted to tell, and I thought, you know, why not? So.
Okay, excellent. And how did you prepare for this speech? Did you like try to create some technical problems in some way? What did you do to get ready?
I plugged in my headset and checked the settings, and it was all fine. Look, I mean, this speech was a speech I did in the last Toastmasters meeting, and I thought that it's a story that I could tell, and you know, it's one that I could tell again. So that was basically my preparation. And in terms of the technical stuff, like, yeah, I mean, I've used Zoom so many times, I thought I didn't think it'd be any issues. So, but yeah, yeah.
Well, not, but there you go. That's life. And you did the speech. So thank you very much for that, Matt. We really appreciate it. Big round of applause for Matt.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I believe we are now ready to begin our evaluation contest. So first thing I want to do for everybody is I'm always going to get them to do a sound check, because we have judges online as well. We need to make sure even the people in the room can hear, especially about what we've just gone through. We want to make sure everything's working. So can I have, just come through and we'll do some sound first, just say a few words.
Hello. Hello, I'm here.
Okay, well, we can hear you. So we'll assume that the people online can hear us unless they signal in some way to you. Okay, everybody's giving some thumbs up. Thank you very much. Okay, we are ready to start. Please join me in welcoming Marlene Sinclair. Marlene Sinclair.
Contest Chairman, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and Matthew, my journey. What a fabulous story from woe to go, from the little 5-year-old up to his current state. I think it connected straight away with me. Did you notice the smile and the visage just was a connection for the whole audience? Brilliant. I think the descriptions of the instruments were so well done. I now know what an electrone is and where the pedals are. Brilliant use of description. I went into the story of how he moved along his life's journey to the drums, to the masters at the end. So brilliant story. I thought my points for recommendation would be to look straight ahead into the camera, centre, look straight ahead into the camera. This would connect even more, I believe, centred in the camera. Also, step back to show your descriptions a little bit more clearly. They were a little bit fuzzy. I did love the drummer, but it was a bit fuzzy. I think stepping back for Matthew's demonstration would make it even better. I loved, in particular, his voice. Just a beautiful cadence, a beautiful rhythm, a beautiful tone. All of that, all of those things really endear a speaker to the audience. It makes you lean in and listen that little bit more. So in summary, I loved Matthew's voice.
There you go. Repeat it.
Can you just say a few words, please, Joe, to make sure we can hear you?
Hello, my name is Joe. Can you hear me?
Oh, absolutely,
Yes.
loud and clear. That's a extremely good connection. Please do not lose this connection. That is really good. We will begin then. Please join me in welcoming Joe Evans. Joe Evans.
Thank you, Matthew, for my journey. And indeed, what a journey it was. Don't we all love a personal story, especially something that begins with someone as a child? I was 5 years old, a little boy at school, someone who'd never touched a musical instrument. So straight away, we were into your story. We were with you, Matthew, as a little child. And when we hear a story, there's an element where we kind of just sit back feeling comfortable and safe and ready to go with our beautiful story. I have 2 suggestions to make this story even more gorgeous. My first one is around being tighter with the story. There was quite a few uses of the word about 6, or let's move forward a bit. I was about 18. My suggestion would be for all of us when we're telling a story to, even though ages, of course, we know life is not on our birthdays, but to be a little bit stronger. For example, by the time I was 18, or the next stage of my journey. So where we're saying when we're clearer, it sounds a little bit more stronger, a little bit more with conviction, whereas lots of uses of the words about vaguely, I think takes away some of the strength of the story. My second suggestion is to help you to connect with the audience even more. We need to talk about not just the facts about what happened on our journey, but also how we were feeling. And I think it's really important if we can express to people, for example, in Matt's example about his love of music. I think the strongest that Matthew went was, I'm studying something I love, but I'm thinking around something I realized the thrill of creating and playing music was so exciting, I had to do it. Or music might well be something you love and adore too. Well, I realized that this was my vocation. I think by engaging more with the emotion of how Matt felt, he could have brought us even more deeply into his story about this journey of becoming an amazing musician. And we can do that by expressing words about feelings, talking about the passion of things. My final comment is to say, well done on bringing it as a beautiful journey. Because when he completed that bit with the drummer boy at the end, he had kind of brought together that part of his journey. And we really love completion when things come full circle and we've got to the end of that little section. So all in all, Matthew, well done. This was gorgeous. So to recap what I absolutely loved about this, the personal story that brought us in and helped us to kind of know this was going to be something that we could identify with. We've all been children. My recommendations were to be tighter with the story, to not just use the word about, but to be clearer about the different stages of the story. My second suggestion is to use more feeling, more emotions to connect with the audience. For example, the thrill of creating music. And lastly, I love that it had come full circle to the journey. Thank you so much, Matt. Good luck with your next part of your journey as the drummer man. Contest chair.
And we'll have 1 minute of silence, please, for the judges.
Yeah, yes, that's okay.
We are now ready for our next contestant who will be online. Harshitha. Just checking Harshitha is there.
Yes, I'm there. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, just say a few more words.
How are you? How's everybody doing?
We are doing well. Thank you very much, and we can hear you loud and clear. So we will begin. Please join me in welcoming Harshitha Rajashikara. Harshitha Rajashikara.
After listening to that speech, I'm definitely going to dust my guitar, which is stuck in that corner for ages. Thank you so much for that excellent speech, Matt, titled My Journey. Good afternoon, contest chair, Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I felt the purpose of Matt's speech is to inform about his journey and also to inspire us to a certain extent. The first aspect Matt excelled at is the speech opening. Matt used pens as a prop to make that drum sound. I was like, as an audience member, what is he doing? What is he doing? It quickly grabbed my attention as an audience member. The second aspect Matt excelled at is storytelling. Oh boy, Matt, our drummer boy, is a storyteller. He took us on a journey from a 6-year-old to a 15 years old to an 18 years old. I felt I was with Matt in his journey. He took me on a journey with him. The third aspect Matt excelled at is the use of hand gestures. They were subtle and matched the speech, especially when Matt mentioned about the little me and also describing his old parents' keyboard, which about the foot pedal, the stick. It helped me to better visualize. So where are the growth opportunities for Matt to become an amazing speaker? First aspect, I wanted Matt to stand up. Standing up gives that weird energy for the speaker, which can be later translated to the audience as well. Not only that, standing up gives an opportunity to better use the Zoom screen. While making a point, we can come in the front, you go left, even we can go back, we can go right as well. The second growth opportunity is use of vocal variation. The speech was about music. Enough opportunity to inject those vocal variation. For example, drum, saying that dun 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 dash. Saying that one would have created that drama itself. In summary, I loved the opening, brilliant opening with the props, and Matt is a storyteller, excellent hand gestures. Standing up would have added more use of the stage, and also vocal variation in terms of the drums, music, dun dun dush would have made Matt's speech even amazing. Thank you so much. Back to you.
One minute silence for the judges, please.
Yes, that is.
we'll just get a sound check from the next contestant. So if you'd just like to say a few words, make sure the online people can hear you.
Sean Biricone, can you hear me? Sean Biricone.
They'll let us know if they can't. Thank you for that. Please join me in welcoming Sean Wiriko. Sean Wiriko.
Okay, Matthew didn't just deliver a speech today. He took us on a journey, a whole symphony of exploration. And I'd like to look at two key things that I really enjoyed about his speech, how he engaged us and how the speech was memorable. So first, Matthew engaged us right from the start by signaling to the audience that he was telling a story. I was just 5 years old. Stories are authentic, and they breed vulnerability because, you know, the speaker is revealing something of themselves. This draws the audience in, and that was a great way to captivate us. The second thing he did was he had carefully constructed energy shifts. He did this right from the start with the drumming gesture. That was a low energy, and then he moved on to higher energy, and he fluctuated that energy as he moved through. Another thing I really liked was that he combined the gesture of the drumming with the message about the drummer boy. So not only did we hear his message, we saw his message, and he used that multi-sensory engagement to help map the neural pathways in our brain so we could really see that into our memory. How can Matthew take this speech and make it even more engaging, even more memorable? I'd like to share two tips on how he could do that. The first tip is from the world of cinematography. He gave us a story that panned all the way from when he was 5 years old through to the stage when he was at university. But instead of panning through as a landscape, take it and focus right in, zoom in, so that you can take us to one spot. So put the audience in the picture so that the audience is not just having the story narrated to us from sometime in the past, but you're embedding the audience right there by going deeper into the picture, make us feel like we're right there experiencing. The second tip is to consider building suspense, building some anticipation, building a bit of shock. An opportunity to do this would have been when he was selecting the project. Which project was it? It was the drummer boy. Well, by building anticipation, it stimulates heightened production of cortisol and adrenaline. And adrenaline is attributed to the human stress response. And this is credited with playing a big part in human evolution. Think back to our ancestors. They hear the roar of the predator and it sears into their brain. Keep away. So a speaker can use that same searing effect by using anticipation because it makes that message memorable. In conclusion, we had a highly engaging speech, wonderful piece of storytelling, carefully constructed changes of energy throughout, good gestures for that improved neural mapping, 2 points for improvement, put the audience in the scene by focusing in, and secondly, build anticipation to make it more memorable. Thank you for taking us on such a memorable journey, Matt.
1 minute silence for the judges, please. our next contestant has arrived. We'll just get them to come up and do a quick sound check so the online people can hear you.
Okay, sound check, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. They'll let us know if they can't hear you. So that's enough. Thank you.
Okay.
Please join me in welcoming Jodie Donche. Jodie Donche.
Like a bow and arrow, that speech hit the target of being a good speech. Today, I'm going to be sharing 3 praises, 3 improvements, and a golden praise for Matthew today. The first praise I'd love to share about Matthew's speech is the fact that he used storytelling, which is a great way to engage the audience. We are made for storytelling neurologically, as well as in our childhood. Using storytelling, like telling us he's going into a school play and about the characters in his school play, was a great way to engage us. The second praise for Matthew was the fact that he had good audio. According to Psychology Today, if you can choose between good visuals or good audio, you want to have better audio to engage the audience. So that was also a tick. And the third praise for Matthew today is the fact that he used body language, such as the pedal and such as the play. Now, body language is a great way to cater for the visual communication style of people in the audience, as well as using words for the auditory, digital and auditory catered people in the audience. Now, one of the improvements for Matthew today is the fact that he could have used box lights to light up his stage more and use the stage more effectively. According to Psychology, if we use the left side of the stage for the audience, this is chronologically the past, and the right side of the stage for the audience is chronologically future. So Matthew could have used the stage to anchor different parts of his story so we can follow along chronologically as he moved along the screen. Another praise and another improvement, I should say, for Matthew today is if he would be able to have more effective audio and more effective visual. Essentially, the visual wasn't very clear, and if we could see the stage a lot more clearly, we'd be able to engage with Matthew a lot more. Another improvement for Matthew is the fact he was looking at his notes. That is a sign that Matthew is afraid to forget his notes. Now, that could be because when we're on stage, our amygdala lights up and our prefrontal cortex shuts down. So our fight and flight lights up and our ability to remember notes shuts down. Therefore, a tool that Matthew can use is 4-second box breathing. Everyone do this with me? 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, and 4 seconds hold. Yes. Essentially, this is a great way to be able to calm the parasympathetic nervous system and activate that and calm the sympathetic nervous system down. It's a great way to remember notes. And the third improvement for Matthew today is it's important to be able to keep eye contact with the camera. It's very tempting when we're online that we will want to look at the screen at all the different faces. But actually, when we make eye contact to the camera, we're able to show the people who are watching that we are engaging with them. So it's really important that he practice looking into the camera. Now, the golden praise for Matthew today is the fact that he used drumsticks. Now, sparking curiosity is a really effective way to draw us in as the audience. As Chris Anderson explains, we can spark curiosity. If we can spark curiosity, we can engage people more effectively in storytelling. So it's great that Matthew was able to spark curiosity today. Overall, you have done a really great job with 3 praises and 3 improvements and a golden praise for Matthew today. I'd love to end the speech with a quote, which is from Oliver Holmes, which is, "All limitations are self-imposed." So I trust my feedback today, Matthew realizes that he is limitless. Contest track.
Another minute of silence for the judges, please. We'll just get a quick sound check for the next contestant. Say a few words.
Hi, I'm Tracy.
That's fine. Thank you very much. I'll be introduced now. If there's any problems, the people online will let us know. We'll now begin. Please join me in welcoming Tracy Green. Tracy Green.
Thank you, Matthew. And audience, hopefully you took something away from what Matthew shared. I like the fact that he used his personal journey for his story today. I think it's an opportunity when you hear someone's personal story to learn a little bit about them. That's one of the things I really like about being in Toastmasters. In the speeches, I get to know someone a moment more than I did previously. With Matthew's speech, I liked the use of time. And by time, I'm talking about presenting it in a chronological order. Why? As a speaker, it gives me an opportunity to keep track of where I want to go. Because if it's based on your experience, then chronological is an easy way to remember your story. And for the audience, it actually builds up the time for us to follow that journey. So I thought using chronological storytelling was an effective way for Matthew to share his story with us. The other thing that I liked was the use of gestures. I don't know whether or not you noticed, you've got a confined space when you're on a screen. Matthew didn't stand, didn't step back. He stayed in the one space, but I noticed he used his gestures quite effectively. I got to learn how we could convey size when he said he was 5 years old. And also when he talked about flying, all in that one space. So gestures effectively supported what Matthew was saying. However, when I think about those gestures, there's a couple of things I'd like Matthew to consider. If you wanted to effectively support what you're saying, then ensure that number one, all your gestures are visible. And I don't know whether people noticed, but on the right-hand side of the screen for us and the left-hand side for the speakers, there was a shadow. And I noticed when Matthew would be slightly off centre, I would not see this side at all. So that gesture was lost. So I think if you're using an online forum, so Matthew, if you do this again, really think about your positioning, your lighting, and how your gestures are going to support you in making sure they're visible to everyone. The drumming was the other one. I really liked the way he started with that. He uses vocals to support it. But again, because being online, with the ability to blur our background, and it means if you've got props, often they can be lost. So really test that before you present your speech. But for me, I think the highlight was the use of bookending. Did you notice Matthew started with the story of him as a 5-year-old? And when he talked about his music, he ended with the story of him as a 5-year-old. That for me helped support the journey of the story. So I loved Matthew sharing of his journey. I hope you did too.
And 1 minute silence, please. Our next contestant is ready. We'll just get a quick sound check to make sure the people online can hear. Just say a few test words, please.
A few test words, please.
Oh.
Yeah.
Please join me in welcoming Gregory Boland. Gregory Boland.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Mr. Contest Chair, and most of all, Matt. Thank you for such a wonderful speech. My journey, story of your life. And with a story like that, you've set us up for a very, very interesting journey, and that is in fact what you delivered. You used what I call a chronological spine. We went through sequentially events in your life using your lived experience. First thing I'm always looking for in a speech is, what was the structure? That's a brilliant structure. I've seen it used by plenty of people. You used it well. In terms of points for improvement, well, there's a couple. One, and it's a technology one, and it probably doesn't apply most of the time. You were a bit close. You're a bit close, and that hampered your gestures. At one point, we had some guitar playing. I could hear the air guitar playing, but I could only see the chord fingers. And if you hadn't said it was a guitar, I would have wondered what you were doing. So just little things like that, and some of the light on the right-hand side of the screen is a bit dark, but these are small things. My recommendation to you is that you do that speech again at some point, because yours was a story of passion. We went down a number of different avenues, but all of those avenues led to the same thing, this musical journey, this thing that drives you. This is really, truly admirable, but I think we could have had more of that passion in the speech. At one point, you were talking about the life-changing, the greatest thing in your life, but you said it in a conversational tone. Now, I don't doubt you for a second. How could I? It's your story. What I wanted was, and that was the greatest event in my life. I wanted a bit of oomph and then just back it up, because you've lived an obvious life of passion. There's a consistency and a congruency in what you've done. And I think we could have brought a bit more of that out. So in summary, like a very good speech, a very, very interesting. I think your story was powerful. It could have been more powerful with some additional speechcraft being used. And that speechcraft being what I'm saying there, about bringing in some oomph, bringing in perhaps some bigger gestures to just underscore the passion that has to be in here. It has to be in here to drive an entire life dedicated to a musical career, musical passion. I thank you for your speech today, and I really do recommend you use it again, and I hope I'm there to see it. Mr. Contest Chair.
That concludes our contest today, but I ask please everybody still remain silent, because the judges need to complete their ballot forms. And judges, hold up your forms when you are ready so the ballot counters can see you and actually get hold of the forms. And for our Chief Judge, I just remind you to get that timing report. Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have left the room. You now may breathe. You enjoyed that contest?
Yes.
It was good, wasn't it? Some good evaluators there. And speaking of which, let's get them back out to the front. So all the evaluators, except for those on the screen, please come to the stage. Line up. Just like you do when you're at the police station, please just line up.
No, I know. Done that.
I know. Particularly the hard party conference goers. I've heard some stories in the past about you people, so we'll see. Well, thank you, one and all, the people on the screen and also here in person. We had a little bit of a few humps to get over there, so you had a little bit more obstacle than normal. So for that, let's give a big thank you. I've got some participation certificates here in no particular order. I'm going to give out. You may, to keep you warm and get that blood going, applaud for every person. So first off, Jody. Second, the party animal herself, Marlene. And I love the air guitar bit. I always like doing air guitar myself. Please welcome and thank Gregory. Now, this is going to be a bit hard because this person is online, but we've had an international conference because not even in the country. I think they're in London at the moment. And Joe, what time is it at the moment there?
4:10 in the morning.
So Joe, I have your participation certificate here. And when you get back for $5, it's yours.
Thank you.
And Sean, welcome. And another person who's not quite as far away, I believe you're in Adelaide, Harshita, is that correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Your participation was killing me there. So once again, I have your certificate here, and I'm sure Sue or someone who's going back to Adelaide will take that back as well. And we also have, last but certainly not least, would you please thank Tracy? At this stage, often the people get to sit down because we do audience participation type of things, but I'm not going to do that because I feel like being in a nasty mood today. So I'm going to keep you up here a little bit longer and ask you some questions because it's really your day. It's the contestants have worked so hard to get here. They should have a chance to shine, and we should learn a bit more about them and some of their secrets.
This is exactly like the police station.
Yes. Really not my job to real life.
Okay, Sergeant.
I've got some questions for you. Now, I want you to put on your mentor's hat, a mentor hat, to help our members here today and also watching online. And my question is, I want you to share one of your secrets that's got you here today. And I'm going to start with Jody and work through. I want you to share with the audience today an evaluation secret, a winning one. that no one else knows? Please.
What I find really effective evaluations, especially in a speech kind of that you have two pieces of paper. One is to capture all the different ideas down when you hear the speaker speak, and the other one is for the final version. And when you're in the back room and you have those 5 minutes to go, you just really transfer all the main points over and then disregard the first one and only focus on memorizing the second one. And this way, instead of having lots of crossed out words and circled words, you have a clean piece of paper with the exact points that you want to make.
Thank you. A few pieces of paper going on in the Netherlands. You might be here next year. Sean, what's one of your secrets?
I wish I had taken that advice. There's a lot of circled words and a double circled words. My secret is to grade the kids' stationery. You're watching and you're wondering where your texters are. They're all in that one.
It's well done. And let's go all the way over to the UK. Joe, what is your secret?
Well, I don't know. I think one of them would be that when you're evaluating, I am never looking at it with any kind of critical point of view. I'm always thinking about the suggestions of what could elevate the speaker to be even better. And I'm hoping that coming from that viewpoint means that one's feedback evaluation is heard very easily because it's sort of felt that it's received in a kind way, a caring way.
Okay, thank you, Joe. And same question to you, Molly. What's the question? A secret. Oh, a secret evaluation secret.
Look, I think that when you're evaluating somebody, always say what it is and how to, how it affects the audience. So what, why, and how.
Okay, good words. Yeah, Greg, what is your secret?
So just a couple. So I want to pick up on what Jody said, because that's my scrappy notes. People can see how scrappy those notes are. You don't have to be able to read them. And then that's what I use on the stage, and it's got some format to it and stuff like that, not points. And it's a similar idea to what Jody said. Very good advice. I wish I'd thought of it. The other piece of advice, for me, it's critically important to be honest at all times. If someone gives the lousiest speech you have ever heard, don't be that honest. It will always be something that they have done right. Pick up on it and you can do a proper structured evaluation. Remember, we're trying to elevate the speakers. But do not whitewash. If it was absolute dog do, don't say it was fantastic. Nelson Mandela would have been proud. You have to be honest, and that's actually a level of integrity that makes your job. Yeah, you've got to. Yeah.
Being really honest in their clubs. Yeah, it can be hard, particularly if you're nice people. It can be hard, but we toughen you up here to give good evaluations.
What the mongrel.
Ashita, what's your secret?
Clarity. I'm an engineer, so for me, I need to understand everything in a stepwise manner. And also, it's not just about me, it's about the speaker. So for me, I always feel to be clear, give them clear points. So that's something that they can take away and implement there in their speech. And also the second aspect I would say is to practice. I'm an immigrant and English is not my first language. So I have to turn up to every Toastmasters meeting, practice, be on stage, make myself feel uncomfortable. So I would say my 2 points would be clarity, give the clear points. It's about the speaker, not about you, the person who's evaluating. And the second point is practice, practice, practice. Turn up to the Toastmasters meeting. Thank you. Back to you.
And our last respondent on this question about an evaluation secret, what have you got for us, Tracy?
Goodness me, you've already got lots of fantastic tips, which I use elements of all of those. But I think what I do when I'm an evaluator is I think it's actually my opinion. And that's the key. I'm not speaking on anyone else's opinion. It's what I observe. And if you stay authentic and have integrity, then you're speaking from the heart. And it's your observation. I think that's the key thing.
Excellent, thank you. Then maybe you'll be on this stage next year. Now, I'm still waiting for the judges to come back, so I'm going to my backup question, because a good contest chair always has backup questions. And this time, we're moving to the clubs. How can we help the clubs to improve the evaluations? So in your own club, that'd be nice here, and any clubs that you've visited, what do you think we need to do in the district with the clubs to help the evaluations overboard raise the bar on it? And let's go back to Jody again. What do you reckon, Jody?
I mean, giving more personal development sessions per clubs and having more gatherings of clubs where they learn these skills could be very beneficial. Actually having people in who are experts at these skills to pinpoint different categories of what they can improve and actually bring these workshops into clubs themselves or bring the clubs together and do those workshops would be very beneficial.
Excellent, thank you. Oh, our elected officials here, the district director's out, the elect, because he's the chief judge, but I can see David here. David, you listening to that for the coming year? Thank you. It's good stuff here. Sean, would you like to share your thoughts for the incoming executive?
One suggestion is to visit each other's clubs and take on the role as a general evaluator. So it's always good to have a general evaluator from another club. They're coming and basically sharing insights that they've gained from other clubs. And it's just nice to be able to see that because that's where you get fresh feedback and fresh input. I think that's something that's useful.
Excellent, thank you. Let's cross to London. I've never done that before. Joe, you're doing well, keeping awake, but please share with us, to our exec and audience here, how clubs can be better with their evaluations.
Okay, I've got two ideas briefly. One is to do group workshops where one person in the club does a speech, or maybe you watch one on a video so that nobody feels anything connected to that person. And then in small groups, people brainstorm, things that they've done brilliantly, suggestions so that they can do it in a little group. And that's really good for the new people. And the second thing I love is that somebody does their first evaluation or maybe their first two evaluations sitting next to somebody who's an experienced evaluator who kind of helps them. And at the break takes time to go through the points they're going to say, to give them ideas, to give them the support. And if they're very nervous, maybe even go up on the stage and do it with them.
Excellent, thank you. These questions get harder as we go through the participants because they can't repeat things. Harder then. So Marlene, what have you got?
I agree firstly with the other speakers, but I think that have regular workshops at your clubs, a regular workshop on evaluation, get somebody in if need be, have the district in, have a group, but make it a regular.
Okay, good. Yes, absolutely. Gregory, what do you reckon? Everybody should be doing air guitar? What do you reckon?
Well, I'll have to evaluate that then, wouldn't I? Get a chord wrong and I'll nail you. No, I think it's an educational thing. We have the educational structure. I think my brain's trying to think of the name of it. I can't remember it. But we're supposed to deliver those within our club on a regular basis. So you asked, the question was really about what district can do. Make it a KPI, make it something that's got to be linked to incentivize them. The other thing district can do would be to have this stuff, if we're going to focus on it, make it a focus also at club officer training. I mean, district can't be expected to go around to every darn club, but you can start the ripple in the pond and ripple it out using the educational.
Okay, excellent, thank you. We've got two more people, we'll get through these quickly. So Ashita, what do you think the clubs can do to raise the bar on evaluations?
I can suggest that clubs can encourage their members to watch the district's evaluation contest. I think the best of the best get to attend this one. So why not to learn from the best? So I would highly encourage clubs to, I think it's not, when I say encourage them to watch, we can make that out as an event. All of us can get together and watch them together and discuss, oh, this person did this well, this person did well. I think that conversation, watching someone evaluate, I think that can exponentially increase their knowledge, watching a district evaluation contest. Thank you. Back to you.
If everyone here today could be taking the learning back to their clubs. And our very last person, Tracy, give us the golden response. No pressure.
No pressure. I'll highlight, I was in a club with Joe, it was Fitzroy Toastmasters. And one of the things that we did, and I don't know if they still do, but it was, I think, one of the most effective teaching someone evaluation tools. When you're a new member, you're assigned an evaluation buddy. And so for the very first time you're evaluating, when it came, there'd be a little break, you would go off with your buddy and you would prep on what you've observed, and then they would help you build your confidence to go back and give a structured response. And I think that was an amazing tool, because who here, being a newbie, once someone says you're going to do an evaluation, you think, oh no, I can't evaluate those people. I can't. And I think Fitzroy using that strategy has been one of the most effective. Well done, Fitzroy.
Well, and I believe the chief judge is back in the room, so we will shortly be doing the presentation. We'll just get a photograph. Very much.
Oh, right.
Yes. Okay. As I always say, get my Tom Cruise side.
Everyone ready? Everyone can say your story.
Your story.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please welcome our evaluators. Now the moment has come. All the technical difficulties, all the hard work the evaluators have done, the moment has come where we are now going to be reading out the place getters. Now, to help me do this, I've got some very important person here. I have got not only the chief judge, but the current program quality director, and as of yesterday, the district director-elect. Please welcome Kevin. People know, that's fine. I don't know where the cameras are. I just want people to see things. Okay, now we do have to do that unfortunate thing of talking about the disqualifications because of going over time.
There was none.
But there were none.
Sorry about that.
I think that's the I didn't realize this. There were none, so well done, evaluators. Now I will be going from third place, second place to first place. So here we go. And as is tradition in District 73, because we make a lot of noise, let's hear that drum roll. Not as good as yours, I'm afraid, but there you go. The third place winner is Harshitha. Well done, Harshitha. Kevin is modeling your trophy at the moment. That's what you do. We'll be taking that back. Okay. Here we go, getting down. Second place, drum roll. Second place winner is Gregory Boland.
Yep.
I've taken, it's a video going on.
Oh,
I was getting married to.
thanks for your time, Greg. Okay, this is it, folks. The District 73 Evaluation Finals Contest winner for 2023. Drum roll. First place goes to all the way to London. And that's it. There's no more winners. We are going to get some photographs quickly. Can we get the place?
All the way to London.
Not going away.
Can I just check? This is a
I've got-
photograph. now.
I've got hundreds of photos of you guys. Ready? Oh, yeah. Selected. Thank you. Okay. Ready? Say winner.
Joe's on.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you. That is folks. I thank you for all your submissions. It's been a great contest. That concludes our 2023 evaluation contest. But this- So I'll hand it back to